How did one bouquet of flowers turn into papers served in my office lobby in front of my team? Why did my husband stay calm, collect proof, and end everything without yelling once? What made the bad guy suddenly look like the only adult in the room? My name is Undine Harper. I was 34 then, and I worked in HR at a logistics company. People liked me because I smiled fast and spoke with calm words. I knew how to sound fair. I knew how to make my choices look like self-respect. I also knew how to make my husband look like a problem. Ethan was 36. He worked in IT and liked plans and quiet mornings. He did not shout. He did not break things. He asked for small rules like honesty, time, and basic care. I told myself those rules were control. I still think I was right, at least in that season. That morning, we were in the kitchen. The kids were at the table with cereal. Mila tapped her spoon and asked if she could wear her pink shoes again. I said she could. Noah spilled milk and laughed. I wiped it up. Ethan watched me while I checked my phone. He asked why I was texting before 8. I said it was work. He asked why I smiled at my screen. I said I was thinking about a meeting. He said he missed talking to me. I said we talked all the time. The truth was simple. I had a contact saved as an emoji, a small flame. I told myself it was harmless. I told myself I needed one place that felt easy. I told myself Ethan made everything heavy. When I looked at the flame, my chest felt light. That feeling mattered more than anything else. Ethan went to the sink and rinsed 2 mugs. He placed one near him and one near me, like a tiny map of distance. He asked if we could plan a date night. I said we were not teenagers. He asked what that meant. I said I wanted peace, not pressure. He looked down at the counter, and his jaw got tight. He asked if I even liked him. I said he was being dramatic. I watched him open his calendar on the wall. A reminder was there in black ink. Lakeside, 9:25 a.m. I did not know why that word was there. I asked what Lakeside meant. He said it was personal. He said it in a flat voice, not rude, just closed. I felt annoyed because I did not like closed doors. I wanted to be the only one with secrets. At work, I kept my smile on. Our office was open plan, with low walls and loud keyboards. People heard everything. That made it easy for me. At lunch, Sloane Pierce leaned close with her salad and asked how Ethan was acting. I said he was intense again. She asked if he was still jealous. I said yes, and I rolled my eyes. I told her he liked to question my time. I did not say that he only asked because I kept lying. Sloane said she hated men who tried to own women. I agreed fast. I said, respect follows results, and I had results. I said I carried the house emotionally, and Ethan did not see me. That was not fully true, but it sounded good. 2 other coworkers heard it. One of them laughed and asked if Ethan needed a tracker for my phone. I said he already acted like he had one. They laughed louder. I let them. Later, when my phone buzzed, I turned the screen down. Sloane asked if it was my fan club. I said it was just a friend. She asked if I meant a guy. I said Ethan was not my boss. I made it sound brave. Inside, it felt like a game I could not lose. When I drove home, I rehearsed the story in my head. I told myself Ethan had pushed me away. I told myself I was not cheating. I was finding myself. I told myself a woman can have needs and still be good. I told myself Ethan should feel lucky I came home at all. That evening, Ethan met me in the driveway. He did not block me. He did not raise his voice. He asked why I was late again. I said traffic was bad. He asked why my location showed I was across town. I said my phone was wrong. He asked if I could stop treating him like an enemy. I said he started it by doubting me. He asked what he had done. I said he made everything about him. Mila opened the front door and waved. She asked if we could watch a movie. I said yes. Ethan looked at her and softened. Then he looked at me, and that softness faded. He asked if we could talk after the kids slept. I said I had a headache. He said it was always a headache. I said he was keeping score like a child. He went quiet, and I felt like I won. That night, I went out to a rooftop bar with Sloane and my sister Tara Bennett. The city lights made everything feel clean and new. Tara asked if Ethan was still acting weird. I said he was worse. She asked if he ever thanked me. I said no, and I made a sad face. Sloane asked if he tried to control what I wore. I said he looked at me like I was guilty all the time. I did not mention that guilt has a reason. A man at the next table heard us and asked if Ethan was the jealous type. I said he was insecure. Tara laughed and said I deserved better. I let that sentence land like it was a fact. I posted a photo of my drink and my smile. I did not tag Ethan, but the message was still loud. When I came home, the house was dark. Ethan was in the hallway near his desk. A faint smell of toner hung in the air. He had a folder on the desk with a simple label. Household. I asked what that was. He said it was bills and normal stuff. I said he never cared about bills before. He said he cared now. He asked if I had fun. I said yes, because I was allowed to. He asked if we could stop hurting each other. I said he was hurting himself with his thoughts. Then he looked at me for a long moment. His face did not beg. It did not blame. It looked like a person taking a picture in his head. I felt a small cold line in my stomach. Ethan picked up the household folder and slid it into a drawer, slow and careful, and I heard the drawer click shut. I told myself I had earned a private life inside my own life. That is how I explained Caleb. I said he was not a lover. I said he was a friend who made me feel seen. I kept the word small so I could keep the guilt small. Caleb worked at a small training studio on the edge of town. The lobby smelled like lemon cleaner and rubber mats. The front desk girl knew me by name. That should have scared me, but it did not. It made me feel important. I arrived that afternoon and acted casual, like I belonged there more than I belonged at home. Caleb met me near the water cooler. He asked if I was sure about this. I said Ethan never noticed me anyway. He asked if Ethan asked questions. I said Ethan only liked rules. Caleb said we should be careful. I said Ethan was too soft to do anything. I said he would talk, and then go quiet. I made Ethan sound weak because that made me feel safe. I checked my phone and saw a missed call with no caller ID. I assumed it was spam. I ignored it. Caleb asked if I wanted to leave. I said I had time. I told myself that time was mine. When I got home, I told Ethan I had been with Sloane after work. I said we talked about a new HR project. Ethan asked why I did not text. I said my phone died. He asked why my hair was damp. I said it was raining. He did not raise his voice. He just watched, like he was trying to see through fog. I made dinner fast and loud. Pots, plates, noise. Noise helps. It fills space, so no one can think. Ethan sat with the kids and asked Mila about school. Mila said she had a drawing for him. Ethan smiled at her, and that smile made me angry for a second, because he still looked like a good father. I needed him to look like a villain. I needed the story to match my choices. 2 days later, it happened. The moment I now tell people was unfair. I still say that, even though I know it sounds strange. It was early evening. The kids were at my mother's house. I said it was a play date. Ethan believed it because Ethan liked trust. I let Caleb come over. I told myself it was my home too. I told myself Ethan could not own rooms. We were in the bedroom. We were not doing anything graphic, but it was clear. Caleb's shoes were near the bed. My phone was face down on the nightstand. The air felt wrong, like a rule had snapped. Then the front door opened. I heard Ethan's key turn. I heard footsteps, slow, like he was carrying something. I thought he would call my name from the kitchen. Instead, the steps came down the hallway. He stood in the doorway, holding flowers. The bouquet was bright, with a paper wrap and a small store sticker. His face went blank. the way a screen goes blank when power cuts. He did not shout. He did not throw the flowers. He looked at Caleb, then at me, then at the shoes, then back at my face. He asked who Caleb was. I said he was a friend. He asked why a friend was in our bedroom. I said Ethan was making it dirty when it was not dirty. He asked if I was cheating. I said he was accusing me to punish me. I said he always wanted to make me the bad one. I said he came home early on purpose, like he set a trap. Caleb stood up and looked like he wanted to disappear. He said he should go. I said no, because I needed control. Ethan asked Caleb to leave the house. Ethan's voice stayed calm. Caleb left without arguing. Ethan did not touch him. Ethan did not threaten him. He simply watched him walk out. Ethan put the flowers on the dresser. He did it carefully, like he did not want to break anything, even then. He asked me to explain what he saw. I said he did not see anything. I said stress makes people imagine things. I said he was tired and suspicious, and that was a him problem. He asked if I respected him at all. I said respect has to be earned. I said I carried the emotional load, and he failed. I said he made me lonely in a house full of people. I used words like neglect, because they sounded serious. I watched his eyes change when I said those words. I liked that. It gave me power. He walked to the kitchen and sat down. He did not cry. He did not shout. He opened his phone and stared at it. I saw a soft beep and a small red dot for a second, like an app had started, then stopped. I asked what he was doing. He said he was writing notes so he could stay clear. I said he was recording me like a creep. He said he wanted to remember the truth. That night, he slept in the guest room. I noticed the guest bed looked slightly disturbed in the morning. He had not stormed out. He had not done anything dramatic. That made me feel unsettled. I wanted a fight. A fight would let me say he was abusive. Quiet made me feel exposed. The next day at work, I told my story first. I told Sloan that Ethan came home acting crazy and accused me of cheating. I said he invaded my privacy and tried to control who I talked to. Sloan asked if he yelled. I said he got scary quiet. I said quiet can be worse than yelling. She nodded like I had proven something. I called my sister Tara on my break. She asked what happened. I said Ethan humiliated me and made me feel unsafe in my own house. She asked if there was another man. I said Ethan always sees other men everywhere because he is insecure. Tara said Ethan was toxic. I did not correct her. On the way home, I stopped at the supermarket. At the checkout, I saw Marjorie, Ethan's mother. She stood behind me with a basket of fruit. She looked at my face like she could read it. She asked if Ethan was okay. I said he was being dramatic. She asked if the kids were fine. I said of course, because I was a good mother. She did not argue. She simply stared at my hands, like she noticed how much I shook. When I got home, Ethan was in the kitchen. 2 mugs sat on opposite sides of the counter again. A sticky note was on the fridge that said, "Bring forms." I asked what forms. He said it was personal. He did not explain. He asked what time I would pick up the kids. I said I would do it later. He said he would do it if I was busy. He said it like a normal sentence, but it felt like a wall going up. That night, I woke up to the faint smell of toner again. The printer in the office corner made a short sound, then went quiet. I walked past the doorway and saw a spreadsheet open on his laptop. I could not see the title. I only saw rows and dates. Ethan noticed me and closed the screen. I asked why he was doing all that. He said he wanted to handle things the right way. I laughed and said he was trying to scare me with paperwork. He did not laugh back. He set his phone down, face up, and I saw a thread named Follow Up. I went to bed and told myself I was still in control. I told myself flowers were just flowers. I told myself Ethan would calm down and pretend it never happened. But in the dark, I kept seeing the bouquet on the dresser, untouched, like a bright mistake he refused to clean up for me. I started the next week like nothing had changed. That was my skill. I could smile with a broken thing in my chest and still look fine. I told myself Ethan would get tired of being upset. I told myself he would choose comfort over truth. I also told myself I deserved comfort more than him. At the office, the air felt sharp. The open-plan space was loud, but people watched quietly. Sloane came to my desk and asked if Ethan was still acting crazy. I said he was worse. I said he was cold one minute and silent the next. I said silence can be a kind of punishment. Sloane nodded like I was brave for surviving it. During our break, I accidentally let my phone screen face up. A message preview from the flame emoji popped up. I swiped it away fast, but Sloane still saw the glow. She raised her eyebrows and asked if I had a new friend. I said it was a gym group chat. I said I was trying to get healthy because stress was ruining my sleep. I made it sound responsible. Later, I went to the copy room and spoke louder than I needed to. A coworker asked how my weekend was. I said it was hard because Ethan accused me of things. I said he thought I cheated, which was crazy. I said I felt watched in my own home. I did not say he found me. I said he assumed and twisted and made stories. Those words made me sound like a victim. By lunchtime, people were looking at me with soft faces. That felt good. In my head, I told myself the story was now mine. If everyone believed Ethan was the villain, then my guilt had no place to stand. That evening, Ethan texted and asked if we could walk and talk like adults. I said yes, because I wanted to manage him. I chose the Riverside Promenade because it was public. Public places make people behave. I wanted him to behave, but I also wanted him to feel trapped. The river was grey. People jogged past us and did not care. Ethan walked with his hands in his coat pockets. He asked if I could be honest for 5 minutes. I said I had been honest. He asked if I understood what he saw. I said he saw a moment and made it mean too much. He asked why Caleb was in our house. I said Caleb helped me feel calm, and Ethan never did. Ethan stopped walking for a second. He asked if I heard myself. I said yes, and I said he should listen too. I said he made me lonely. I said he worked late and looked tired and never chased me. He asked if chasing was the same as love. I said it was proof. He asked what I wanted now. I said I wanted space and respect. He asked if that meant I would keep seeing Caleb. I said Ethan did not get to set my rules. He said he was not setting rules. He was asking for safety for the kids. I said he was using the kids as a weapon. He said he only wanted stable routines. I said stable routines were hard with a husband who spies. He looked at me in a way that made my skin prickle. He asked if I was telling people he spied. I said people noticed his behavior on their own. He asked if I posted about him. I said I posted about my feelings. He said feelings can harm people when they are used like knives. I laughed and asked if he was trying to sound deep. He did not answer. When we got back to the parking garage, the lights hummed. Our footsteps echoed. I felt bold there, like the concrete walls were on my side. Ethan asked if we could review our budget together, calmly. He said he wanted to understand where money was going. I said he was trying to control me through finances. He said it was not control, it was clarity. I said clarity was just a fancy word for suspicion. He asked if I could stop spending from the joint account on random things. I said the things were for the house, even when they were not. He asked if I could keep receipts. I said I was not his employee. He said he was not treating me like one. He said he was trying to protect himself from chaos. I told him he was the chaos. In the car, my phone buzzed again with no caller ID. I ignored it again. Ethan glanced at my screen and asked if someone kept calling. I said it was spam. He nodded once, like he accepted my answer, but his eyes stayed awake. At home, the kids were back, and I used them like a shield. Mila ran to Ethan and asked him to read a book. Ethan said yes. He sat on the living room rug and read in a steady voice. Mila leaned on his shoulder. I watched and felt irritated because he still looked safe. I needed him to look unsafe. After bedtime, I went to the kitchen and began a fight on purpose. Ethan asked how work was. I said work was fine until I came home and felt judged. He asked what I meant. I said he stared at me like I was guilty. He asked if I wanted him to stop noticing reality. I said I wanted him to stop acting like my father. He did not rise to it. He said he would only talk about the kids, the schedule, and the house. I said that was cold. He said cold is better than cruel. I told him he was the cruel one for not forgiving me. He asked what exactly he was forgiving if I still denied it. I said he was twisting words again. I noticed the desk drawer in the hallway was locked. That was new. I asked why it was locked. He said he wanted some things private. I said privacy was rich coming from him. He asked if I could please stop. I said I would stop when he stopped treating me like a suspect. That night, I woke up thirsty and walked past his desk again. A faint smell of toner hung in the air, like before. His laptop screen was dark, but I saw a small USB taped under a folder marked Taxes. I froze for a second. It felt like he was building something I could not see. In the morning, his car was pointed toward the street, not tucked in like usual. He packed the kids' lunches with neat hands. He asked Mila what time her class started. She told him. He asked Noah if he wanted apples or crackers. Noah pointed. Ethan looked normal, but the normal felt like a mask. At school drop-off, I tried to get a reaction from him one more time. I said he should stop acting like a saint. He asked what I wanted from him. I said I wanted him to admit he pushed me away. He said he would not take blame for my choices. I said he was abandoning me. He said he was standing still, and I was the one leaving. I got back in my car and told myself he was acting this way to hurt me. I told myself he wanted me to feel small. But the truth was worse. He did not look like he wanted anything from me at all. He looked like a man who was learning how to live without my approval. The dinner at the family restaurant was my idea. I told myself it was for peace. Really, I wanted a stage. I wanted Ethan to sit under bright lights with our families watching him. If he looked angry, I could point and say, "See, he is the problem." If he looked quiet, I could call it cold and cruel. Either way, I planned to win. The restaurant had a long table with too many glasses and too much noise. My mother, Linda Bennett, arrived first with my sister Tara. Linda hugged me and asked if I was okay. I said I was tired from constant stress. Tara asked if Ethan was coming. I said yes, and I made a face like I was brave. Ethan came with his parents, Marjorie and Frank Harper. He walked in like a person going to a meeting, not a family dinner. He held the door for his mother. He nodded at my father Glenn, polite. He looked at me once, then looked away. We sat. The kids sat between us because I insisted. I told myself it was for them, but I also liked the pressure it put on him. Mila whispered that she wanted chicken. I said she could have it. Noah tried to reach for fries. Ethan moved the plate closer and asked him to wait. Ethan's voice stayed calm. That calm made me feel like I was losing. Linda started fast. She said Ethan had always been sensitive and hard to please. Ethan asked what she meant. She said he acted like a victim. Tara added that I had been unhappy for a long time. I let them talk. I watched Ethan's face. He listened without snapping, which was annoying. Marjorie asked me if I had been home more lately. I said I had been doing my best. Marjorie asked what my best meant. I said she was being unfair. Frank leaned back and said nothing at first, but he watched Ethan like he was checking if his son stayed steady. Then Linda said Ethan should stop acting like a judge. She said marriage was about forgiveness. Ethan asked what he was forgiving if no one admitted the truth. Linda said truth is complicated. I felt relief when she said that because it matched my favorite excuse. Ethan asked me directly if I was willing to stop seeing Caleb and focus on the kids. I said he could not tell me what to do. He asked if I wanted to stay married. I said I wanted respect. He asked if respect included honesty. I said honesty does not mean telling every detail. I spoke like I was teaching him something. Mila looked up at me and asked why Dad slept in the other room. I said adults need space sometimes. Ethan said he was sleeping there because he did not want to fight near the kids. I heard how clean his sentence was. It made mine sound messy. Tara tried to save me. She said Ethan's silence was emotional punishment. Ethan asked how silence was punishment when he was still doing school runs and bedtime stories. Tara said it was the vibe. Ethan did not argue. He just took a sip of water and looked at Mila's plate to cut her chicken. That tiny act made Tara's words look weak. Marjorie finally spoke to Ethan, not to me. She asked if he was okay. Ethan said he was trying to keep things stable. He said he wanted clear routines for the kids. Linda rolled her eyes and said Ethan always needed systems. I agreed quickly. I said he treated family like a spreadsheet. Ethan looked at me for a second, and his eyes did not beg. He looked like he was marking a point. After dinner, I followed Marjorie into the hallway near the bathrooms. I wanted a private fight. I told her she needed to stop turning Ethan into a saint. Marjorie asked if I understood what I had done. I said she was biased. She asked if I was telling people Ethan was dangerous. I said I was telling my truth. She said truth has facts, not only feelings. I told her she was trying to take my children. She said she was trying to protect them from chaos. I said the chaos was Ethan's control. When we returned to the table, Frank asked Ethan if he wanted to leave. Ethan said he would stay until the kids finished. That sounded responsible, and I hated it. I wanted him to slam a chair and storm out. Instead, he paid for his parents' meals before they even asked. Linda noticed and went quiet for a second. 2 days later, I saw Ethan at a therapist's office. I did not go inside. I only saw him through the glass doors when I arrived early for the pharmacy next door. He stood in the waiting room, alone, filling out a form on a clipboard. He looked tired, but not broken. He looked careful. I texted Sloane right away. I told her Ethan was trying to build a case by acting like a victim. Sloane asked if he was in therapy. I said yes, like it proved he was unstable. I knew it really proved the opposite. It proved he was choosing tools instead of drama. Still, I turned it into a joke because jokes are easier than fear. That afternoon, I took the kids to a playground. The swing squeaked. Parents stared at their phones. Mila asked why I smiled online but cried in the kitchen. I told her adults sometimes act happy for work. She asked if Dad was leaving. I said no, because I did not want her to see how uncertain I felt. I told myself children forget fast. I told myself my lies were gentle. They were not. When we got home, Ethan was in the hallway with his desk drawer. I heard the lock click again. I asked what he was hiding. He said he was organizing household stuff. I said he was acting secretive. He said I wanted privacy too, and I could not deny it. I said my privacy was normal, his was suspicious. He did not argue. Later, while he cooked pasta for the kids, his phone flashed a message. File uploaded successfully. He turned the screen away fast, but I saw it. I asked what he uploaded. He said it was boring paperwork. I said he was lying. He said he was done fighting. He asked what time I would be home tomorrow. I said I did not know. That night, I posted a vague quote about surviving a controlling marriage. Tara shared it. Sloane commented with a sad face and called me strong. I watched the likes grow and felt warm for a minute. Then I heard Ethan in the living room. He was not scrolling. He was not typing. He was reading to Noah in a steady voice, like nothing could shake him. I stood in the doorway and told myself he was pretending. I told myself he wanted to punish me with calm. But when I looked at him and the kids, I felt a thin fear I did not want to name. Calm was not weakness anymore. It was a plan. I thought I could still steer the ending. I told myself Ethan would soften because he always did. He was the kind of man who cleaned up messes quietly. He fixed the broken shelf, the leaking tap, the kids' toys. I believed he would fix this too, even if I was the one who broke it. So I pushed harder. At home that morning, the living room looked normal. The kids' blankets were folded. The TV was off. Ethan was at the table with a notepad and his laptop. When I walked in, he closed a tab fast, like a reflex. I saw a page that looked like storage options or delivery tracking, but I could not be sure. I felt irritated at not knowing. I asked what he was doing. He said he was organizing personal things. I said he was acting paranoid. He asked what I meant. I said he was creating problems instead of solving them. He asked if I was ready to talk about what happened. I said there was nothing to talk about. He asked if I could stop lying. I said he was obsessed. He did not raise his voice. He simply looked at the clock and asked what time I would pick up the kids later. That afternoon, I decided to prove I was still powerful. I stopped at the supermarket on purpose, the one near Caleb's studio. I told myself it was for groceries. Really, I wanted to feel chosen. I wanted to feel wanted. I wanted to bring that feeling back home like perfume and watch Ethan react. In the parking lot, Caleb appeared near the cart return. He acted surprised, but I could tell he expected me. He asked if this was a good idea. I said Ethan did not own my time. Caleb asked if Ethan was angry. I said Ethan was quiet, and quiet was his way of being cruel. Caleb said he did not want drama. I said I would handle it. Then Ethan's car rolled into the lot, slow and steady, like he had come for milk, not for war. My heart jumped. I watched his face through the windshield. He parked 2 spaces away and got out with a list in his hand. He looked at me, looked at Caleb, and then looked at the store doors. I waited for a reaction. I waited for anger. I waited for a scene. Ethan did not give me one. He nodded once, like he had confirmed a detail, then walked inside. Caleb let out a breath and said Ethan was scary because he was calm. I said calm was fake. Inside, I felt cold. Back home, I tried a different move. I called a family talk in the living room with the kids nearby, playing on the rug. I knew that was not fair, but I told myself it was real life. I asked Ethan why he was being distant. He asked why I was acting like the victim. I said he was punishing me with silence. He said he was protecting the kids from shouting. I said he was using the kids as a shield. He asked if we could keep all talks about the kids only. I said that was cold and robotic. He said cold is better than chaos. I said he was the one who made chaos by coming home early that day. He asked if I really blamed him for what he saw. I said he should have called first. He said he had brought flowers. He said he had wanted to surprise me. He said the surprise was for him instead. I felt a flash of shame, and I hated it. I turned it into anger. I said, flowers do not erase neglect. He asked what neglect. I said he worked late and did not chase me. He said love is not a chase. I said that was easy for him to say because he never had to compete. He asked who he was competing with. I said he was twisting again. The kids were too close, so Ethan lowered his voice. He asked me to stop. He asked me to please stop making the house unsafe with words. Mila looked up and asked if we were mad. I said no and smiled too fast. Ethan told Mila they were just talking about schedules. Mila nodded, but her eyes stayed worried. That evening, we went to a community hall event for a co-worker's birthday. It was loud and crowded, with cheap decorations and a long table of snacks. Sloane was there with her partner, and Tara came too. I brought Ethan because I wanted witnesses. I wanted everyone to see him refuse to forgive. I wanted them to pressure him the way my mother did. Sloane asked Ethan how he was doing. Ethan said he was fine and focused on the kids. Sloane laughed and said he sounded like a brochure. I laughed too, louder than needed. Tara made a toast and said some men only love you when they can control you. People clapped. I watched Ethan's face. He stayed still. I added my own joke. I said Ethan used to ask where I was every hour, like a security guard. A few people laughed. A few looked uncomfortable. Ethan did not argue. He did not defend himself. He simply took out his phone, glanced at it, and put it away. I saw the motion, calm and practiced. It looked like he was saving something. On the drive home, I tried to pull him into a fight. I said he embarrassed me by acting cold in front of people. He asked how he embarrassed me when he said nothing. I said his silence made me look guilty. He said I should think about why silence could do that. I said he was being smug. He said he was being careful. At home, the house was quiet. The kids were asleep. I heard a low hum from the hallway office area. It was the shredder. The sound was soft, steady, almost polite. I stood still and listened. When it stopped, Ethan carried a small bag of shredded paper toward the trash. He did not look at me. I asked what he was shredding. He said old notes. I said he was hiding things. He said I was projecting. That word hit me. It sounded like therapy language. It sounded like he had learned new tools. In the kitchen, I saw his keyring on the counter. There was a new key on it, bright and clean. I asked what it was for. He said it was for something he needed to secure. I asked if he was locking me out. He said he was not doing anything dramatic. He said he was just being responsible. I tried one last time. I said he was trying to scare me. He said he was not trying to scare me. He said he was trying to handle it properly. He looked me in the eye when he said it. His voice was calm, and that calm felt final. Then his phone alarm flashed for a second on the counter. Paper drop 8:10 a.m. He turned it off without explaining. I went to bed and stared at the ceiling. I told myself he was bluffing. I told myself he could not really change the story I had built. But the shredder sound stayed in my head like a quiet promise I could not laugh away. The next morning, I dressed like it was a normal work day. I chose a soft blouse and a neat coat. I even put on earrings. I told myself I looked like a person who had nothing to hide. I told myself Ethan was only trying to scare me with paper stuff. I told myself he would never really do it because he hated conflict. I said those thoughts like prayers. The office tower lobby was busy, full of footsteps and coffee smells. People moved in lines toward elevators. The security guard nodded at me because he saw me every day. I walked in with my badge ready, like that badge could protect me from consequences. My phone buzzed with a message from Tara. She asked if I was okay. I wrote back that I was fine and that Ethan was still being cold. I added a sad face because it helped. Then I put my phone away and lifted my chin. A man in a plain jacket stepped toward me near the mailboxes. He held a thin stack of papers and a small clipboard. He asked if I was Undine Harper. I said yes, and I smiled the way I smiled at new hires. He asked me to confirm my address. I asked why. He said he had legal documents to serve. He said it calmly, like it was a delivery. My stomach dropped so fast I felt dizzy. I looked around and saw 2 co-workers from accounting waiting for the elevator. Sloane was near the coffee stand, laughing at something on her phone. I wanted to vanish. I wanted the floor to open and swallow me. The man asked again if I was Undine Harper. I said yes, but my voice sounded thin. He handed me the papers and asked me to sign that I received them. I said I did not accept. He said acceptance was not required, and that service was complete because he identified me and handed them to me. He pointed to the clipboard and asked for a signature only as proof of receipt, not permission. I signed because my hand moved on its own. I looked down at the first page. I saw our names, my name first in a place I did not like. I saw words like petition and temporary orders. I saw a date. I saw a line that said a temporary parenting schedule would begin immediately. My throat tightened. Sloane noticed my face and walked over. She asked what happened. I tried to smile and said it was nothing. The papers shook in my hand, so that lie did not land. She read the top line over my shoulder and went quiet. Her eyes widened, then flicked away like she did not want to be involved anymore. I turned and saw Ethan across the lobby, near the glass doors. He was not close enough to be part of the service. but he was close enough to see it. He stood with his hands at his sides, calm and still. He did not glare. He did not smirk. He looked like a man who had finally stepped out of a storm. I marched toward him because anger felt safer than fear. I asked how he could do this at my job. He said he did not choose my job as the place. He said he chose a public, safe place because he wanted everything calm and lawful. He said he would not argue with me in private anymore. He said he would not trade insults. He said he would only communicate through proper channels. I told him he was trying to ruin my life. He asked why I thought accountability was ruin. That question made me feel trapped, so I attacked. I said he was punishing me because I needed emotional support. He said support was not what I called it when I lied and blamed him. He said he had tried to talk for weeks. He said he had asked for truth and safety for the kids. He said I turned every talk into a performance. I flipped through the pages with fast hands. I saw sections about finances. It said we were both restrained from moving large amounts from joint accounts, and that spending would be tracked. It said certain bills had to be paid on time, and that neither of us could cancel insurance or hide assets. My face burned, because it felt like I had been caught stealing, even though I had told myself it was my money too. Then I saw a page about the home. It said there would be temporary rules about who stayed in the house and how exchanges would happen. It said the kids' routines mattered. It said stability mattered. It was written in plain, cold language. It did not care about my feelings. I looked up and asked Ethan if he really wanted to split the kids like a schedule. He said the kids were already living inside tension. He said a schedule was not cruelty, it was structure. He said he had arranged for school pickup and drop-off times. He said he had arranged that exchanges would happen in public places. He said he had done it so the kids would not hear arguments. I told him he was acting like a robot. He said, I use that word because a robot could not be guilted. He said he was done being pulled into my emotional traps. He said he would not yell, threaten, or beg. He said he would do everything properly. The word properly hit again, like a stamp. I tried to change the story in real time. I said he was controlling. I said he was abusive with paperwork. I said he was using the system to silence me. Ethan said he was using the system to stop the lies and protect the children. He said he had kept records because I kept rewriting reality. He said he had screenshots of my posts and messages where I mocked him. He said he had times and dates where my stories did not match my location. He said he had receipts for spending patterns and notes from talks where I denied what happened. He did not show me a folder. He did not pull out a USB. He did not wave anything like a weapon. He only said he had it, and that it would be handled in the process. That was worse than a display. It meant he was not doing it for drama, he was doing it for results. I heard the elevator ding behind me. People stepped out and slowed down when they saw us. Someone from HR, my own department, asked if I needed a minute. My manager, Denise, walked over with her work face on. She asked if I was okay and if I needed privacy. I wanted to scream that I was being attacked, but the man who served me had already walked away, and Ethan was standing there calm. There was no scene to point at. There was only paper and my shaking hands. Denise asked if this involved my workplace safety. I said no, too fast. Ethan said it did not involve workplace safety and that he would not contact me at work again. Denise nodded and asked me to come upstairs for a quick conversation. Her tone was polite, but it was not soft. I looked back at Ethan and tried one last push. I asked if he was happy now. He said happiness was not the goal. He said dignity was the goal. He said peace was the goal. He said the kids deserved a father who did not live under public shame and private lies. My phone buzzed with a message from Tara again. She asked what was going on because Sloane texted her. I did not answer. My hands were too cold. I stared down at the page with the schedule. I read the line again and again until the words made sense. The temporary parenting schedule was not starting soon. It was not a warning. It was not a threat. It was a start. It said the schedule starts today.